it's me, Billy, Emma and Kylie. Today, me and Emma have Kylie at the NAPC to talk about lots of different esports stuff. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Today.
Thanks for having me.
Great.
Decent, yeah, not bad.
Nice, amazing. So, kind of gone into this with no preparation.
Love it.
At all. Got to keep it chill for the lovely viewers at home. But I think it would be great to discuss lots of different things surrounding esports, how we kind of got started in esports and things like that, and how it's led us to where we are today. But Kylie, I wanted to ask you, as a mother, as a mother, how is that having two, kids and having to juggle that alongside gaming, working, being in esports? How is that?
It's like herding cats sometimes, I'm not going to lie. It's difficult, but it helps having someone as a partner who recognises that that's your thing, it's your joy, it's your love. He likes mountain biking, so whenever he gets the chance, he goes mountain biking, and then I could do my thing when I need to. But certainly prior to moving house, I now have my own office, Slay. But before then, I was in the living room with two screaming kids and a husband and a cat that wouldn't shut up. It was just made for really terrible sort of background noise for gaming. So it just really put me off, especially during game changes, that first time we did game changes. It was so difficult trying to concentrate because they wouldn't shut up. It's their house too. I can't ask them to pipe down completely. But it's nice to see how I've sort of evolved in that time. I think I'm a part of the community, which is great. I've been accepted, which is lovely. I'm like a total outcast of the old person. Which I think stems from my experience back in esports back in the day. I used to play Counter-Strike 1.6 semi-professionally as well. Was on a women's team back then. Mixed teams as well, which was great, but we didn't sort of do competitions in a mixed team. We just played for fun. But the acceptance level back then was, I must say, a lot higher. It was kind of almost like it was unknown. It was like not unique, because obviously there was other women playing games, but it was certainly less abrasive, shall we say, than it is now. You go into a server and say hi, and it's like, oh my god, it's a woman.
Yeah. Do you think that's because we're seeing more women and girls?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think as well from even a younger age, we're seeing younger girls come into gaming, and it's not as I knew when I was younger, I was very much closet gamer. Yeah. Was ashamed of it. I feel like everyone's kind of embracing their identities in gaming.
Absolutely.
So gaming culture is mainstream now.
Yeah, it is. It's been less frowned upon. Although if you take that BBC article the other day about the woman, the lad with Tetris, oh, terrible. That's just not what you want. It's not positive at all.
I think the landscape of social media has changed as well a lot especially since 1.6.
Yeah.
Everything is now a lot more online, so you get a lot more personality, which leads to a lot more reactions from people. Whereas in 1.6, it's just there's I don't know how to react because there's a girl in the team, so I'm just not going to say anything.
People just climb up. Right. I know.
Okay.
But yeah, it's different, but it's nicer. I think it's more welcoming. I think, especially for me at my age, I've been made to feel very welcome.
Yeah, and I'm the baby here. Obviously, age has a bit of a factor for you as well, Emma. But how has that been for you? You've got your life things as well. You've got a dog, little fur baby, things like that. Baby. How do you find juggling that? But then also, how do you find being the age you are and finding some place or somewhere to sort of fit into the industry, given so many people that come into the industry now are 16, young, school kids and things like that. How do you find a place for you in that situation?
I won the Commonwealth when I turned 30. So I was 30 years old when I started my career in esports, which is nuts. And then I hear people like Tad who retire at 26?
Yeah.
24, you're like, retire? I've just started. But I think it's just, age is just a number really. And if you can keep the skill up and keep competing, keep that competitive age, then it's not really going to matter. Obviously, if I look back at my gameplay from when I was 16, 17, whatever, my hand-to-eye coordination, headshot ratios were far higher than they are now. But I think that comes with a lot of having to be a grown-up occasionally and not having as much time to play games. But at this point, I don't think age is too much of a difference, bar the commitment time away from actually playing, because as a kid, you just play.
Yeah, I would agree. I think reaction times as well.
Yeah. Well, you can train that.
Yeah.
You can do aim trainer.
I think a lot of it has to do with prior experience as well. So if you're someone my age who's just going to Valorant now, they're going to get absolutely beamed every chance they get, you know. But because if they've played previously, they'll have some experience and some sort of game sense about them that they'll know what to do and when. So aim is half of it, I think. I think game sense is a lot more.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, you look at some of the most successful like VCT, EMEA Game Changers teams in Valorant, for example. A lot of them have come from CSGO and gone into that game and have become world champions because of the experience they've got under their belt. So yeah, completely echo those thoughts as well. I have nothing else to say. Ta-da! No, I think like even just going back to like the age thing and to speak about like my experience for a little bit, like I didn't even know that esports was a career option. Like it's not something that was necessarily thrown in your face the way it maybe is now. You kind of become exposed to it through being online.
Yeah.
So like what have you guys been through when you're being, what's the question I'm trying to ask you? Like what is there anything that you didn't know that you wish you knew back when you were younger?
I just think I wish I'd had the opportunities that young people have now back then. I mean, we still had things like, I used to be head of the Game Society at Teesside Uni, and esports was kind of just coming into it. It was called the Cyber Athlete Professional League back then. CPL, so different. But no one was really sort of edging towards that. We were just playing casually and having fun, and it was only the odd one or two clans that sort of wanted to take it a bit seriously and climb the leagues and stuff. And things like Enemy Down was probably one of the best leagues there was out there. But if I'd had half the information that most kids do now back then, God, it would have been so different. I could have tried and gone pro, I'll be honest. I mean, my parents would have hated it, but I would have tried. I certainly would have tried. But yeah, it's so different. And I think kids' opportunities these days are absolutely huge. I'm so jealous.
I think something like as well, just to touch on what you've said there, is like the parent support.
Yeah.
So one thing that I can say from my own experience is my parents, I've been fortunate enough where my parents have always supported whatever I want to get into. Any way they can help, they would find a way to make it easier for me and break down barriers if they needed to. So I guess for you as well, like being a parent, is there anything that you can see you may have to do in future, like when it comes to your kids?
I think I will do my very best to encourage them into something that they love. I'm definitely not going to push them towards gaming or esports. I mean, that you can see now that they're just tied to their iPads. They're of a generation where they use their thumbs to do screens rather than joysticks. And I mean, they might grow into it, and I hope they do. It'd be nice to have something in common with them. But I'm certainly not going to sort of angle them towards, oh, you must be a programmer, or you must be a mountain biker. Why not? Because I remember being angled away from it, and I think they've just got to get their own path, essentially. Yeah. And they're too young right now to know what they want to do. One wants to be a fireman one week, wants to be a policeman the next week. You know, it changes. But I will definitely support them no matter what they want to do, because I wanted to go work for Blizzard in France when I was 18, and my parents wouldn't let me go. So I think that was more of a responsibility thing. They thought I was too young, too naive, which is fair enough. I look back and think, yeah, okay, fair enough. But I think I would just rather let them try.
Yeah.
And I'll be there to support them if anything happens, and if they don't, fair enough. But they've got to try.
Like the stigma of gaming back then
certainly
was even worse than it is now.
Yeah,
because it's like you cannot have a career in games, and it's like, well, actually, yes, you can.
I beg to differ.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like even when I can continue like speaking about family support and things like that, with you being in the Commonwealth Esports Championships and things like that, what was the family support like for you behind that?
My mum was actually. My mum was on a beach in Turkey.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
On a
Lovely.
private beach in Turkey, shouting and screaming at her phone.
Oh, I love that.
Saying, my daughter just won a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games.
Oh.
She got told off by the hotel staff because they're like, this is a respectable establishment, and my mum was going nuts. She did have quite a few wines and champagnes, and I know what my mum's like.
What mum doesn't? That's class.
So she was super supportive, but like she was just very inappropriately in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Like just lying on a beach in Turkey. So, but yeah, other than that, family support's been great.
Love it.
I say other than that, that's a pretty epic story.
Yeah.
That is an awesome story. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Well, I feel like we're probably a bit cut for time, maybe. Anyone else want to throw anything into the ring? Any discussion points?
And the talking points, I think. Okay. This is a question. It's not really to sort of fulfill my own interest. It's more of a how do you the youth feel about people my age still participate in esports? Do you think it's cringe? Do you think it's sort of like, oh, just getting back in your own lane type thing? Or do you think we should have our own ecosystem, so to speak. Because I'm always looking for people my age to play it with, and I can't find anyone. What do you think?
Business idea.
Business idea. The old Discord. Half of them will not use it. Are you joking?
I think there's an issue with having your own league because I know how good you are. And like just like you're good enough to play in normal leagues. Like I don't think you need your own league. No, you literally played it in Solomon last year.
That separates it as well. Like I don't think that we should be segregating based on factors in the same way in sport you would have men's and women.
Yeah.
Like I think esports is inclusive of all. So to answer the question, no, I don't find it cringe. I don't find it cringe at all. I absolutely love it. Like for anyone that doesn't know, Kylie and I used to be on a team together, a Valorant team, and those days that we would go to boot camp and do the headshots and things like that. So like I think the cringiness of it is what makes it funny and what makes esports. Like don't get me wrong, I do cringe at some things that I see on socials.
Like the folded arm.
In regards to I love it though. Like I love the cringiness behind it because life is too serious. Like we shouldn't be taking ourselves seriously. And if you're really going to care about what someone else thinks of you, whether it's because of your age, your gender, your shoe size, whatever it might be, like, do you know what I mean? Like who cares? Like life is too short. So no, I don't think that it's cringe. I love that different people from different walks of life and no matter where they're from can get involved with it. I love that it's one of those activities that so many different people can just get involved with and be the full selves.
I love that. Thank you. I think it was more from the point of that they're scared to play with young'uns. Like I don't care. I'll slap his off. Yeah. But other people might be. Whoa.
We have computers upstairs.
Whoa. But it's more like they might be, they're afraid of getting clapped the minute they get on a server, But if they play with people of their own skill and age, it might encourage them to play more.
That's like comes back to experience then.
Yeah, I guess.
Because we were saying if someone now was to jump in, and it doesn't matter what age you are, if you're brand new to FPS, you're going to get beat by other people.
Yeah.
You're going to have to learn and grow.
True enough.
I think the good thing as well about playing with different people is you can learn something from one another. Yeah. It's not necessarily that older people are learning from younger people or vice versa. Like I think that you can always learn something from anyone. Yeah. So it's good to have a mixed bag of people together either way.
I learn from you guys every day, so that's perfect.
Hopefully not from me. There's nothing good for me.
Why not? I learned how to be a badass from you,
How to be a messer.
Shut up.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. It's been a good chat.
Brief chat.
Yeah.
To do more of this in future and they let us run rampant.
Just go nuts.
On the socials. It's fine. But this has been
I'm in charge of them now, so everyone.
I was going to say, literally. Can we do it? Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
This has been great. Thank you guys so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.